Hey everyone, Sean Lottom here with 3HourRealEstateAgent.com, where we help agents generate more leads, more sales, and more profits so that they can grow their business and ultimately have some more freedom in their life. What we're going to cover in this video is the lead conversion ratios to use when formulating your lead generation model in your 2014 business plan. So the Red Book will show you that everybody's METs are not METs and that they're going to convert at two different ratios. This is structured the same way, but not all METs, depending on how the lead is generated, converts at the same rate, and that's what we're going to cover. So let's take a look at the worst converting lead source, Craigslist. So Craigslist converts at 1 to 2%, which means you need to generate 50 to 100 Craigslist leads to have a closing. And not only that, but Craigslist leads have about an 18-month life cycle. So if your action plans don't go out 18 months, that's going to affect conversion as well. So again, free traffic is your worst converting traffic source. 1 to 2%, 50 to 100 leads to have a closing, that's a lot of leads. The next best traffic source or lead generation source is pay-per-click. So pay-per-click should convert for you at around 2 to 3%. And this pay-per-click is paid traffic. So it's Google pay-per-click, Facebook pay-per-click, whatever the case may be, you are paying for traffic. So we have free traffic, paid traffic, 2 to 3%, which means, hey, we need 33 to 50 leads to have a closing. Now you can do better than these ratios, but if you're doing worse, it's probably the follow-up and conversion and not the lead itself. So the next source we're going to take a look at is SEO, or in other words, organic traffic. People finding you and you're not paying for them to get there. So if SEO generates the traffic to your lead capture website, you should be able to convert these around 3 to 4%. So again, 25 to 33 people that find you organically, land on your lead generation site, should turn into a closing. So again, these are all not METs, and all online traffic sources are going to fall into one of these three categories: free, paid, or organic. So the next one we're going to take a look at is now we're offline. So here's your online, now we're offline. So sign and flyer calls, and more importantly, if you have, these are also your 800 capture calls at your listing. So sign and flyer calls convert (4 to 5%). So you need about 20 to 25 people that follow your directionals, park outside of your listing, pull a flyer, pick up the phone, and then if you're able to capture their number, or in ProQuest case, direct connect and have a live call, if you talk to 25 people, you should definitely have a closing. So now that we looked at sign and flyers, the next source is open houses. So open houses run the numbers around 5 to 6%. So I have a lot of people say, oh, you only need 18 to 20 people into an open house to have a closing. They're doing worse than that. I would probably venture to guess it's on the capture. So when everybody goes into an open house, they have the same offer. Hey, can you sign in for the homeowner? So really, to start hitting these kind of numbers, it's how do I capture more people when they do come in the open house? If they come in and you don't get their information, that's not a lead. So again, capturing 18 to 20 people in an open house. And then the better question is, how do we get at least 20 people into one open house? And we'll cover that in some videos. And then last but not least, so everything right here is not METs. And then online traffic, offline traffic. But these are your not METs broken out with different ratios. and then offline converts better than online. So last but not least is the best lead source, and that's referrals. So when you're running your lead generation model, I would run my METs at 20 to 2. So when the Red Book came out, it talked about 12 to 2, which means every MET that you have in a database, and then you communicate to that MET over the course of a year with a 33 touch or a 12 by 12 or whatever the case may be. The 12 and 2 is out of every 12 METs in your database, you would have a closing from 1 to 12, and then 1 out of 12 would refer you business. So you'd have 2 closings, 1 use, 1 refer out of those 12 people. Well, people, and since the shift, they're just not moving as much or they're underwater. So you should really run your numbers at 20 and 2. So out of every 20 people in your database on a communication plan, you should receive 1 sale out of 20 and then 1 referral that closes for a sale out of 20. So if you have 100 people in your database, 20 and 2 is you should have 10 closings. So 5 out of those 100 will use you, 5 out of those 100 will refer you. If you're doing worse than that, I'd highly recommend getting Michael Mayer's Boost training and reading 7 levels of communication and really maximizing your METs and having them out there selling you rather than you always selling you. So again, when you get your lead generation model, I would further break out those not METs into these 5 categories and then run your conversion ratios accordingly. And again, you can do better than these, but if you're doing worse, it's probably follow-up and conversion systems. And then running your METs at 20 to 2 and making sure that all your METs are on some sort of action plan. So the action item from this video is to take a look at your lead generation model in your business plan, break out your not METs into these 5 sources, and then running your METs number at the 20 and 2, and having that lead generation model be a little more realistic to reach your economic model's goals. So again, the action item is to run these numbers in your lead generation model this week. Thanks again for watching. I hope this information serves you. Let's go grow your business.